GearNetwork.com.
Well, good weekend to you all, ladies and gentlemen. This is episode number 17. Dawn, we've been doing it for 17 episodes.
Okay.
Of Get Ready America. And we are doing our pre-show. We didn't always do the pre-show in the beginning, I think. Maybe it was just me, and then you finally started coming into the pre-show. I don't remember exactly how we did that, but we are closing in on our 20th episode, which coincides with the year of Gear Network, the 1 year anniversary. That's going to be a very spectacular show. We've got all sorts of stuff ready to go, and no, we don't. We have literally we have no plan whatsoever for our 20th episode, for our 1 year anniversary, but we know what's going to happen. We know what's going to happen. Something is going to happen. Something's got to give, damn it. Dawn, how are we doing?
I'm great.
What are you shopping on over there on that iPad of yours?
Well, what I was actually looking for was a headset microphone instead of this other one, so that you're not constantly shoving it down my throat.
Okay.
I thought, I could move around and still be Italian and talk like that.
Hey, boppity boopy.
Exactly.
Boopa bapa bapa boopa bapa bapa. And well, where are you looking?
Well, obviously, I'm looking on Amazon.com through the Gear Network page.
Well, okay, that's right. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, this is our main sponsor, is Amazon via the Gear Radio Network. Our store is powered through Amazon. It is amazing. We tell you all the time. And we thank you for those of you that do continue to shop. We do get the numbers. I am able to see how many clicks y'all are clicking. Some of y'all are buying. We need to get all of you to buy. I am probably their biggest customer right now. Gear's biggest customer, which is weird because it's like my own thing.
It's because you can never stop buying stuff.
Can never stop buying. Listen, I wish there was a Craigslist affiliate, because if there was a Craigslist affiliate program and Gear Network could get kicked back, you would be the freaking champ of that, of Craigslist purchases.
Like what?
Like what? There's all the baby stuff you buy. I mean, there's just a bunch of crap you buy on Craigslist.
No, not really.
Yes, you did.
No.
You bought a large gate.
But I buy the stuff off the Facebook site.
Oh, it's the Facebook site?
Right.
That wasn't Craigslist?
Except for the gate. The gate.
Well, okay, the gate was Craigslist.
Anyways, they don't care about this.
They don't care. They don't really care about us. But we care about you, and we thank you for your patronage.
But, John.
Yes, Dawn.
How are you enjoying your very first weekend off? Like, official weekend off, not like you had to call in sick.
Interestingly enough, after I cue the music, we get our lovely little Icky Woodsism on how to make an Icky Woods sub.
Oh, gosh.
And then we come back grazing in the grass, listening to some old school music as we talk some more stuff. I'm actually going to get into that.
Oh, okay.
Yes, because I feel like I've graduated into official adulthood with the new schedule that I have.
Do you? Well, it's
yes.
about time. I'm not sure, honestly, that you're there yet, but I guess schedule-wise...
I'm very popular. Cue the music. This is a Gear Network production.
Today we're going to make my signature sub called the Ixter. First you start with a piece of bread, then you get rid of everything that's not cold cuts. You get rid of the bread, add cold cuts, voila, the Ixter. Bon appetit! Woo! Give me some!
Coming to you live from the Gear Network studios in Rochester, New York, and broadcast worldwide on GearNetwork.com. This is Get Ready America.
From coast to coast, continent to continent, and border to border, from China to Canada and to the United States, and anywhere you may be listening online, this is GearNetwork.com, and this is Get Ready America. Hello, everyone. I am John Cimino, the JC to JCDC, and joining me to my left here at the studio, as always, my better half and the unofficial, the real host of this show, Mrs. Dawn Samila, the executive producer. Say hello, Dawn.
Hello.
And, of course, we are always sponsored and will forever be sponsored by our Gear Network Amazon page, but as well our affiliation with FanDuel. Hey, Dawn, do you know baseball season is starting?
Oh, of course I know baseball season.
We know baseball season is starting, and we know that there are some baseball fanatics out there that love playing fantasy baseball. Gear Network and FanDuel have partnered up. Ladies and gentlemen, you go through us, you can sign up for 1 day and 1 week long fantasy baseball leagues. The day ones are the real popular ones because it's just, you sign up and it's very instant with their payments, as I understand. You pay in, you buy in, you pick your rosters for the day. When it's done, you win your money, boom, goes in your FanDuel account.
I really like that because I love fantasy baseball. But my problem is that I just don't have time to constantly be able to go back in. So it'd be really awesome to be able to go in when I have the time, do a 1 day, and not have to worry about it the next day if I'm busy.
Right, exactly, and that's where you the fantasy sports junkies benefit. You get to put in your money, you get to win money instantly. They're doing it for baseball. They are still doing it for hockey. Go to GearNetwork.com, click on the Friends of Gear. Actually, FanDuel has its own tab. Go to GearNetwork.com, click on Support the Shows, and FanDuel will be right there. On today's show, of course, we're going to have Dawn's news we may or may not be able to use. We may or may not have a phone call. I don't think we will at this point, but we'll get into it. Maybe we'll get. It was supposed to be with Mark House, but we'll get him on. We'll get him on next week if we don't get him on this week. And I will talk about the new 9 to 5, ladies and gentlemen. I won't get into specifics, but it's just more or less the experience. Finally, I have graduated to a big boy job and a big boy schedule, and I really don't know what to do with myself. So we'll begin there, and I'll go ahead and I'll lower the music now at this point. Lower, grazing in the grass. Grazing in the grass. You like grazing in the grass, right?
Stop. Can you just go on?
Yes, okay. So, I kind of hinted to this a couple of podcasts ago. There was a gap, a seemingly sizable gap of time in podcasts. What's so funny?
Nothing, go ahead.
What is so funny?
It's funny when people talk about sizable gaps. It makes me laugh. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
Got female Perez here. With their dirty mind. There was a sizable gap of time between podcasts, and there was reasons for it. Reasons behind the scenes that I couldn't get into, especially at that time. But I can now because what's the former employer going to do? Fire me now at this point?
Well, I believe that when you did your exit interview, they told you something like you're not allowed to talk bad about the well, it's probably in something, but I recall that they told me that.
Well, they told you that because you were willingly leaving the company. I think they were just trying to have damage control. I think they were being really nice on the way out. But, I'm not going to name the name. I'm not going to name the name of the company. I'm not going to name names of the individuals. I'll just speak of the situation. Because it's a situation that I wish nobody would ever be in, except for people that actually deserve to be in that position, which I was not. But there was a random... In corporate America, you're always going to get your gung-ho people that are, so fired up about everything because they think it makes them look good, it keeps them safe. Job security, if you will. When you are on a team of people and you're reporting to people that are virtual, that are in other centers in parts of, in other locations in parts of the country, different parts of the country, the only way that you're going to get together, quote unquote, with these people is by a virtual teleconference, whether it's a video conference or whether it's a conference call, things of that nature. So in that business, in that particular profession, there are virtual town halls that the intention is to get everybody together to go and I'm trying my best. So if I slow down a bit, it's because I'm trying to think of the right things to say to not kind of give up the boss on the people or drop names or anything like that. But the intention of these virtual town halls are to get everybody together and kind of rah-rah and, we're all here for you even though we're not here for you. That type of nonsense. Typically, when those invites come out, whether they're virtual or whether they're physical, at a location, there is a set amount of time between the announcement and the actual town hall. Usually gives you about a couple weeks, kind of a courtesy thing. And with this company in particular, they would have you submit questions or things of the sort that will probably not get read anyways, but, submit them anyways, because, we're looking, that type of stuff. The day before the town hall, the latest town hall, we actually got the notification that there was going to be one, which is really odd and really awkward, like nobody really knew. It kind of threw people off.
Mm-hmm, right.
So we had 24 hours to think about what the heck was going on. Was it an issue with the systems? Was it a major upgrade? Was it just a change to, it could have been a million things. And when you're in a place where it's sold as that's like the holy grail, you know what I mean? When you walk through the doors and swipe your badge, you're walking through the pearly gates. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing better than being there. They're going to take care of you. That type of stuff. Yeah. That's the type of place that this particular one was. So when we came in the next day, it was an uncomfortable feeling from the moment I got there, which was 6 a.m. And when you have people that were flying in, supposedly secretly, from out of town in higher positions to sit in on this meeting, as well as your local human resources department sitting in on this meeting, that's not good news. So then it happens. We get told that essentially we're being let go of our jobs. Our positions are being eliminated. And that we have two choices. We could either post for other positions in that company, whether they're desirable or not.
Most of them not.
Or we can leave and they would pay out a severance package, which equates to, I think, a third or X amount of our salary for the year or whatever. I didn't know really what to do once I got that news. And as a result of that, Gear Network, specifically this podcast, kind of suffered for it. Because I kind of put this on the back burner while I was, for lack of better terms, licking my wounds. Fortunately, and some of you wrestling folks, I'll tell you this much, you're going to hate this because you hate the guy, but Johnny Swift was the one that really got the gear in motion, so to speak, to help expedite this process for me transitioning out of one place and into another in rather record time. So whatever you Western New York wrestlers think about the guy Johnny Swift, the guy is my friend. The guy helped me out, so sorry about your luck with NEW. But
yeah, that's a whole different topic.
That's a different topic for a different day there. Yeah. But so Dawn, being that you were riding shotgun throughout this whole thing, and I was telling you day to day how awkward this felt, as someone from the outside looking in, this whole situation, how did you view that? Did you think it was just as ridiculous as I thought it was?
Well, I mean, it's a horrible situation is what it is. I mean, being with a company for 10 years and spending the last year busting your ass doing, 3 times the amount of work of anybody else while being told, it's going to pay off and it's going to be this and you're, whatever, like you're really working towards something. Honestly, I just felt like it was basically just a slap in the face. Like, just all the stress that the last year has brought on for it to end in that. And the same, just like I told you then, I really feel that it's a blessing in disguise. That particular company, really, it just drains your soul. And I knew that we would be fine, and that when you walked out the door for the last time, you would feel just the weight lift off, that everybody feels lift off when they leave that company.
I can tell you that, yes, it was very, very difficult for me to not leave sooner. There was obviously something still to work for, but the fact that, I take a lot of pride in Gear Network. I really do. I've taken a lot of pride in it from the beginning, and I want to actually say thank you, Ryan Wolf and Perez, for keeping Better Live Than Dead coming during this period of time. At least keeping some new content coming every week, and kind of picking us up when we were down. I take a lot of pride in Gear Network, and the fact that it suffered because of that whole ordeal. I ignored it, essentially.
Yeah, we missed a couple weeks. It wasn't,
Right, but it's day-to-day sports updates and stuff like that on the Twitter and things like that. I just wasn't doing it. So that sucked, but you were very, very right. When the time came and I was able to make that announcement that I was leaving there, and I've got something else which is already leaps and bounds better, not just from a financial perspective, but from a work-life balance perspective. You hear the term work-life balance, and you think, does this apply to me? What does that even mean? I'll tell you this. Last year, I had what I affectionately referred to online out in the open as the junk schedule, where I was doing the work of 3 people, had the schedule of someone entry level, not compensated anymore for it. I am man enough to admit that I broke down and I cried when I was told by you that our daughter, who doesn't know any better, wondered why I was never home, or why I wasn't home a lot, or something to that effect. I broke down and cried with that, and that is what that company did. That company, especially in the past year, broke me down. My only real outlet to vent was Gear Network. This was like just my outlet. I don't have wrestling anymore, where I was able to go in the ring and beat the crap out of my body, and I'm paying, and I'm paying for it to this day still with that. This is my forum. This is my sanctuary. This is where I can let it out and have fun. And it was beginning to affect that. That last day made everything worth it, because you weren't lying. You walked out those pearly gates. You walked in, you walked out, and when you walked out, you were a different person. I've never felt so good about myself. It's 10 years. I feel like I've been a completely different person. And in a week of being away, and it's something completely different, I feel like myself again. That's a good feeling. So I want this to be a lesson to everybody out there that is told, you're told you can't, you're told you won't, you're told anything negative. The only one that's really going to bring you down is you. I did that, and I allowed that to happen with me. And now that I'm back, and I feel like I'm back, and I'm better than ever, it ain't going to happen again. I'll tell you that much. So, and plus, having weekends off is, as we used to say back in the old NEW days, hella sweet. There's a whole story about hella sweet.
Yeah. Okay.
What? You don't remember Hella Sweet Honda? I never did that Brian Eminon impression for you. Brian Eminon used to sell Hondas. We said it was Hella Sweet Honda. It was actually a Brian Eminonism.
Oh, okay. No, I was not aware of that.
I should call him and see if he'll do the voice. Okay. But, all right. We're going to go to a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we will talk maybe a little bit of sports, get into some stuff there. Alex Rodriguez is playing, Dawn. Our friend Alex Rodriguez. Yay. He sucks. And our gear guy that we're keeping an eye on, Jose Barrios, he's pitching for the Minnesota Twins. He's going to start in the minor leagues in Double-A. He's going to make his way up. I'm calling my shot. He's making his way up to Triple-A right here in Rochester, the Rochester Red Wings. He pitched the other day. I'll get into some Barrios stats and stuff like that. And then, of course, later on, we'll have Dawn's news we may or may not be able to use. I don't think we are going to be speaking to Mark House today, but I'll give you a quick 411 on him and his condition when we return.
You're listening to Get Ready America on the Gear Radio Network.
Perez, I must ask you.
What ask me?
How did you do this year in fantasy football?
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it.
Well, guess what?
I don't want to talk about it, man.
I've got good news for you.
What?
FanDuel
Yes.
allows you to win all that money back that you lost
That's good because I lost a lot of money.
in fantasy football. But here's the catch.
What's the catch?
Fantasy hockey, fantasy basketball, 1 week leagues.
That doesn't sound like a catch to me.
You can win a lot of money.
I like that.
Just like you did with the fantasy football on FanDuel, you can win it with hockey, with basketball. Check it out, GearNetwork.com/FanDuel. You get the money on FanDuel. You help us out over at the Gear Network. We get money, you get money. Everybody's happy, and Perez is happy because he won all that money back from
I'll be real happy with that.
fantasy football, which he lost because, well, Perez is really bad at fantasy football.
Oh, man, don't even talk about it.
This podcast is sponsored by GearNetwork.com/Amazon. Help keep our podcast free. Stop through Amazon. We thank you. Good night now.
Okay, listeners, so you hear us talking all the time about visiting the website for all of the podcast or Amazon shopping needs, but you are often not on your desktop to bring up the browser and visit. You ask us for a better way to take gear with you, and now we have that for you. Introducing the Gear Network app. Take the power of the Gear Network with you wherever you go. Listen or download all Gear Network programming, including Better Live Than Dead, Get Ready America, The JC Money Show Uncensored, Talking Wrestling, and others. You can also shop Amazon, post on our wall, follow our favorite local sports teams, and access all our social network profiles and so much more. And best of all, it's free. Zip, zilch, cost you nada. Visit GearNetwork.com on your phone's browser and click on the banner to download the app to your Android device. iOS people, don't fret, yours is coming soon. Give it a download and take us with you wherever, okay? Okay, that's GearNetwork.com's app through GearNetwork.com.
From the Gear Network studios, once again, here's John and Dawn.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for listening to me rant for that first 15 minutes there about feeling good, but I am feeling good. I am feeling fine, and I actually want to send out best wishes to our buddy, gear contributor, on again, off again, if you will. More off again lately, but that's going to change soon, probably. But Mark House, independent professional wrestler, friend of mine, friend of the network, friend of yours too, Don. He likes you. Had it was a torn ACL and MCL, I believe, and had surgery this past week. It was a success. He is recovering. He vows to rebuild this house, HAUSS, and you can actually help his cause. We are going to be selling, not we, but we're gonna put it on the Gear Network site, in the Gear Network store link, a couple of his pieces of merchandise that you can buy either through him or through us to go to him. 100% of those proceeds are going to go help with his medical costs because he does not have the most reliable insurance in the world. So anything that you can do to help rebuild the house, and anything we can do, Mark, to help you out, we will. You've helped us out. You helped Gear grow early on in the Talking Wrestling days, so in this time of recovery for you, and we'll probably get you on next week or the week after or something, but
sometime when he's not passed out at 10 o'clock at night because of probably pain medication.
Yeah, maybe. It could be. although I think it would have been funny to hear a loopy-ass Mark House talk to us on the phone.
I mean, maybe. I've definitely done a podcast or two after taking some pain medication. I don't think you could tell.
Oh, I could tell. I was able to tell. But I know you. And I know Mark, so I would probably be able to tell as well. But get well, Mark. You have an open door whenever you want. If you want to stop in, if you want to, you're not going to be walking very much. But
right.
If you want to call in, or I'll even bring the podcast to you. How about that? Well, you'd have to call remotely on the phone or something.
Well, I'm not allowed to go.
You're not allowed to go. It's like the tree. It's like the tree house. Boys only. Like Molly's just like downstairs.
Do they even have upstairs, downstairs there?
I have no idea. I really don't. I've never actually
Stop.
been there. But
anyways,
of course you can come. But all right. So the gear guy, Jose Barrios, ladies and gentlemen, we are fans of the Red Wings. Our Rochester Red Wings. Yes, they are the AAA minor league affiliate of the Minnesota Twins. And they kind my buddy, you know him, I know him, Nick Sharada, I don't know what his official title is, I can't remember, but he works there. Anyways, he contacted me and told me about Jose Barrios, and I guess he's a top prospect. He is somebody that they feel can be developed, and he has lights out stuff.
I'm really excited about it. I can't wait to see him work his way up.
Yes.
So
I want to see him too, and thankfully through the power of MLB.TV, I will be able to. I just need to find out what games he's coming in, because very likely at this stage, if anything, he's just going to be doing relief in the 7th and 8th innings or whatever when, his fellow minor leaguers are playing in spring training games. I don't know that he's going to be starting any going against major leaguers. As I understand, what's going to happen is that he's going to begin his season this year in Double-A Chattanooga for the Chattanooga Lookouts. It was originally the New Britain Rockcats, but then New Britain, they went somewhere else, and Minnesota brought in the Chattanooga Lookouts.
Okay.
Double-A. So he's going to start there. They anticipate he's going to come to Rochester somewhere in April, maybe May. And what's going to happen is when Jose Barrios does make his way there, there's going to be we're going to have a gear night at the game.
Oh, of course.
So we're going to be there. We're going to show our support for this guy. My goal is I actually am going to be in a position to where I can meet this guy and talk to him for a bit, but keep an eye out for him. If you see him on the MLB.TV, or if you're out in Chattanooga listening to us, which we know you are, but if you're out there and you see Jose Barrios, get your pictures, send feedback, Twitter @Gear Network, let us know what you think of him, and we look forward to seeing you, Jose, here in the Rock this season. So, what do you have on your phone there?
Don't worry about what's on my phone. This is not something you need to worry about until we get to the news segment.
I see. Oh, so that's the news.
Well, this isn't.
Okay, well, what's
this is just dogs.
Dogs, huh?
Right.
Are they doing anything like... They're just...
Just worry about you.
You're looking at dogs.
Okay.
I'm worried about you. You're my co-host in this podcast, and you're looking at dogs on video, just like stepping in water.
They're swimming. The dogs are swimming. And I was scrolling through my Facebook because I'm trying to find a story for the news that I saw earlier. So can you please just continue with your segment?
This whole show's been my segment.
Oh my God. I know. That's because it's you. Let's hear all about your job and your woes. Poor John. Aw, cue the sad violin music again.
I'm not
what is
cueing
that, the second week in a row?
Nope, because I'm not cueing it. It is not playing right now.
The first 20 minutes was you talking.
It is not playing.
But I mean, continue, because we all want to hear what you have to say, John.
Well, right now we all want to hear what you have to say. What's going on with Dawn? What are you doing?
I just told you, I'm scrolling through my Facebook trying to find this story for the news that I saw earlier.
I find it very, very difficult to believe that in a 1 week span of time, you have had nothing, no sort of funny encounters or anything with the outside human world, nothing that you would want to share on the podcast aside from your news. I find that very difficult to believe.
Why? I sit home all day. Do you want to hear about my funny encounters with the kids? Oh, I will tell you, though, today I was out driving. Okay, so you know how when you're driving and you're kind of like, you veer off and the two lanes, like, they come together. It's like a yield. It's not a stop, it's just a yield, right? Hey, watch for... Okay, so I'm driving with my son, and I'm coming out of Kohl's, and I'm veering around, and nobody who lives outside of Henrietta knows what I'm talking about, but I'm veering around towards the mall, and this lady who's driving, like, straight up, she's got her face, like, planted into the steering wheel, you know, one of those ladies? Mm-hmm. Okay. She's driving, like, 2 miles an hour, so here's me in the car with my son, and I'm horrible in the car, and I'm like... Come on, drive your car. Why are you driving so slow? Because I have horrible road rage, and my son's just like, oh, okay. Okay, so then she stops at the yield. She stops, and she just sits there. And there's no cars coming in the lane we're going into, but she just sits there, and I'm yelling, it's not a stop sign. drive. And then I hear my son start laughing, and then I'm like, ugh.
Oh, yeah.
Crap.
But you know what? Everybody has the road rage.
Oh,
Everybody has it. It's one of those unexplainable things there.
Well, you know, John, one time when my two boys were young, I want to say maybe like 2 and 4 or something, very early on, I had this minivan, and it broke down on the exit of an expressway. Like, I was getting off, but it broke down. I was like in the lane, blocking traffic right at the exit. People kept stopping behind me, even though my hazards were on. I was getting really annoyed because obviously I'm already frustrated because I have my 2 little kids in the car. You know, my van's overheating. I'm waiting for roadside assistance. So cars keep coming by, and I keep being like, come on, go around me, you f***ing idiots, you know. So then another car comes up behind me, and I'm like, come on, go around me. And I hear my son Matt, who's all of 4 at the time, say, go around us, you idiots. Oops. Yeah.
Oh, kids, they say the darndest things, don't they? But you know what's funny about road rage, and it's kind of goes into like a Louis C.K. joke, but it does hold true. It's like, all right, when I was coming home from new job, I was actually headed down East River Road, and it's a single lane, and there was the aforementioned 2-mile-an-hour driver, okay? So as you're heading down this street, when you get to where the traffic light is, if you're headed towards Jefferson Road, which would be northbound, you get to this little traffic light, this little intersection. There's this pizza place, there's a gas station, and then if you take a right, if you're headed in that direction, you go into the college. Just before that is the gas station. So someone that was ahead of the guy turning into the gas station had his left blinker on, and then the guy who was driving 2 miles an hour had his left blinker on, stops to turn into the gas station part of it. Okay, well, I start to go around the guy, and all of a sudden, he must have realized that wasn't the street, that was the gas station, but I don't want this guy going around me, so he steps on it. So now I am in the passing lane that's not really a lane, and this guy speeds up, so I can't get by him. So then I get behind him, and now I'm mad. Because, you know, how dare you? How dare you not let me get ahead of you, you freaking douchebag? So I pull in the lane next to him. I want to get a look at this guy. I want to see who this guy is. He will not look at me. And I'm staring a hole at him, and I'm looking. I'm looking at him like, why don't you just look at me just so I could tell you, f*** you. It's just it. I want you to look at me so I could tell you, f*** you. And he doesn't give me that honor. He doesn't give me that thing, you know, and it just, but that's what drivers do. That's what road rage does to you. I don't understand it. I don't understand why it's, when it comes to automobiles, people just absolutely go bonkers.
Well, okay, so 2 really funny, I'll make them quick stories. One, I was not the one who had the road rage, but apparently some guy did not like the fact that I felt he was driving too slow, and I passed him.
Oh, jeez.
So, you know, it was, you know, just one of the dotted lines, you can pass here kind of thing. I sped up, I passed him. Then all of a sudden he decides he's not going to do 30 anymore. Now he's going to do 40 or 45 or whatever I was doing, right? So I pull into Verizon, because that's where I was working at the time, and I pull in and park my car. And this guy follows me all the way into Verizon.
Seriously?
Pulls in behind me, and I get out of my car, and he starts proceeding to yell at me for passing him and cutting him off. Yeah, seriously. Psycho. And I was like, you do realize that you are surrounded by not only Verizon security, but video cameras right now, correct? And he got back in his car and left. But psycho.
He actually got out of his car?
He got out of his car.
I'm telling you, see, the wrestler me would have been like, you realize you're surrounded by cameras and security that are all going to watch me kick the crap out of you. Right,
but
now.
I'm a girl, and he was.
You can fight. You can hold your own. Don't listen. You may have this sweet, innocent gem of a voice, especially on the radio, but this girl can hold her own. Let me tell you.
Then one other time when I was younger, because I've actually calmed quite a bit in my older age. And when I was younger, and I was driving with a friend of mine at the time, Carrie, and we were heading to, I don't know, the mall or something. I don't really remember. I think we were going to the mall, but some girl cut me off on that 390, 590.
Oh, the fork of doom.
She was coming off 590. I was coming on 390, and she just totally cut me off. And can I just tell you, I followed that girl so far out of our way, probably for a good 20 minutes. I bet she was her pants because I guarantee she was not trying to drive all over the place. Followed her down side roads. No intention of ever stopping. I really just wanted to get her going. And so, yeah, then when she pulled over, we just drove off. But I'm just saying, like, I used to be even worse than I am.
You know, what's funny is you know, we're telling these stories, and you know what? I'm gonna cut to a commercial. We'll come back. I'll share the other related story that I have. It's kind of funny, and then from there we'll go into your news. Yeah, we'll do that.
Okay.
This is Get Ready America here on the Gear Radio Network.
You're listening to Get Ready America on the Gear Radio Network.
Don't believe me, just watch.
Hi, Gear Network listeners. The song of the month was selected by Better Live Than Dead's Ryan Wolf. It is Uptown Funk by Mark Ronson featuring Bruno Mars. And if you like this song, you can purchase it through our Gear Network link from both Amazon and iTunes. Right now, if you head to GearNetwork.com, you can sign up for a free 30-day trial of Amazon Prime, which includes Prime Music. You'll be able to listen to this and other songs from Amazon Music's vast collection of songs as often as you would like. Or if you just want to download the song, you can purchase it for $1.29 on both Amazon and iTunes right from our website. Your purchase continues to support our free programming. Remember, that is GearNetwork.com, powered by Amazon and iTunes.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I am Ryan Wolf.
it's Mr. Perez.
And I have a question for you, Perez.
What's your question?
Do you like to listen to people talk about sports?
No. Of course I like sports and listening to people talk about sports.
Well, guess what? I have the perfect solution for
You have a
you.
solution for me?
There's a podcast
Okay.
on this very network.
This network?
Every single week you can hear it.
Really?
New content, latest and breaking news. We talk about baseball, football, hockey, basketball, soccer, UFC, whatever you want to talk about.
So sports in general.
They talk about sports in general. You got
Okay.
it.
I like
you
it.
know the dictionary.
I like
I'm
it.
Very proud of you.
Thank you.
I must say, tune in. We are Better Live Than Dead
You're not.
every single week. You're not going to want to miss it, exclusively here on the Gear Radio Network.
Hey, Don, how's it going?
Living the dream. I'm actually just getting ready to do this commercial.
Oh, you mean the commercial where I tell our listeners to tune into Gear Network every week to listen to our show, Get Ready America? That one?
Yeah, John, that's the one.
They can also listen to us talk about news, sports, whatever's on our minds. That,
And a little what's on our listeners' minds, but they're just too nice to say it.
well, that, Don, is a real humdinger.
Humdinger.
Come join us this and every week for Get Ready America exclusively on the Gear Radio Network.
And the Gear Network app.
From the Gear Network studios, once again, here's John and Dawn.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. And before we go ahead and get into Dawn's news, we may or may not be able to use to kind of go back to that road rage topic there, that impromptu road rage topic we had. It's funny you mentioned how you and your friend were following that one person that cut you off, you know, just for the hell of it. There was this one time that Tiger Smith and I were coming out of the mall, and when we pulled out of the parking spot, Tiger was driving, and apparently the person didn't like how we pulled out of the parking spot or something. I don't know. For some reason, they decided to start following us. So I noticed, I kept looking in the mirror, and I kept noticing they were following us. So they were following us down Jefferson Road. And Tiger and I decided to have a little fun with these guys because we could see, you know, they were quote unquote Henrietta tough. You know, they were the kids that you know, maybe that you push you into the locker for your lunch money or whatever. But when they're faced with a real life dilemma on the streets or something, they're not going to do anything. So we start driving.
What Henrietta people did you know?
I didn't know them.
Okay.
But they were clearly, you know, not your.
They must have been from Greece.
They were very Greece-looking like people that were out in Henrietta. They could have very well been from Greece, for all I know. But I digress. So we start driving. We're having a little fun. So we start turning here. We start turning here. And these guys, they're following us. They keep going. So then we turn down South Clinton. They turn down South Clinton. We start driving down South Clinton. They keep driving. We keep going towards downtown. We now hit North Clinton. We get to the inner loop and we keep going. Them sons of bitches realized we were going into North Clinton Avenue. They turned around, they went into the inner loop and started heading back to the expressway. They were like, maybe these aren't the guys to be doing that. So, yeah, Northeast City. There's your plug, Tiger. All right, Dawn's news we may or may not be able to use. Please, take it away, Dawn.
Well, you know, one thing I just actually happened to see, this is what I was looking for on my Facebook because I just thought it was interesting. It's not like the funny news, I guess, but I thought it was interesting.
Okay.
So, in Mexico,
Mexico.
some mountain climbers actually discovered skeletal remains on the mountain. And it turns out that they believe that it's actually one of a group of 7, I believe, mountain climbers who went missing 55 years ago. So I just thought it was interesting because
it's my cousin Jose, man.
It actually shows pictures, and then they found a second corpse when they went and looked. But they showed pictures of them, and it shows like their faces, and you can almost kind of see like their facial expressions. And, you know, it's just kind of, I guess, weird or disturbing to be able to see, like, they actually had, like, this terrified look on their face. And one of them had, like, their fist was all, like, balled up. And I just thought it was interesting that they would have been preserved in that kind of a state. Like, you can see that they're actually, you know, were, like, sitting up in the snow.
Okay.
So I just found that interesting. So 55 years later.
And I guess that answers my question as to whether or not any one of them had a sombrero on, but...
Samino.
What?
That's horrible.
I'm a horrible person.
They're from Spain.
Oh. Spaniards wear sombreros.
No, they don't.
I don't know what they wear. No, they're bullfighters.
They wear Spain stuff.
They wear Spain stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I completely unrelated topic. Have you been seeing the Mexican words of the day that Perez has been posting every day?
I try not to.
I'm sorry. Choose was hilarious, and Ebola was even funnier.
Yeah, that one I did laugh at.
Freaking
That's the
was
only
hysterical.
one I laughed at, but I did laugh at that.
All right, go ahead.
You know, I'm going to skip my second news story because we don't have time to get into this serious of a subject. I'm going to keep it light this week. So
okay.
This one really made me laugh. Because it just goes to show how far somebody will go to try to get something for nothing.
Okay.
These 2 guys go into Walmart. The one man...
One of them was not named Des Bryant, was he?
No.
Okay.
So, one man fakes a heart attack, falls down on the ground grasping his chest, and as people kind of flock towards him, the other man pushes a cart full of stolen toys out of the parking lot. I mean, of the store, and they end up meeting up in the parking lot because apparently after this guy fakes his heart attack, he gets up.
It's a miracle. Hallelujah.
Right.
Praise Jesus. Listen, Korean Jesus wouldn't have any of that shit.
And then they both drove away. But of course they were caught.
Of course.
So, I mean, really, for $300 worth of stuff. And then this other one, okay, well, I'll just say it because I don't even know how to intro this one.
Okay.
Man smokes weed and then sucks a horse's
Wait a minute. Seriously?
That's the headline.
That's the headline.
So, of course, I saw this headline. I had to see what this story was all about.
Oh, God.
So, court documents obtained by this news site claimed that Jared Kraft was found inside a barn with a marijuana pipe and a jar of petroleum jelly.
Oh, good Lord.
He was also wearing a fake mask and blue wind pants with holes cut around the crotch and ass area.
Oh.
He admitted to police that before he was found inside the barn with this said animal, which he blew and jacked off, he was viewing horse porn.
Wait, horse porn?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Is this in Florida?
No, this is from Wisconsin.
It's Wisconsin.
But,
Wisconsin, that's very Florida of you.
It's funny that you mentioned Florida because they do talk about also in this article and other horse sex news. Back in October,
The horse sex news.
a 19-year-old Floridian jacked off on a horse stuffed animal at a Walmart and then put the stuffed animal back on the shelf.
Ah, God.
But
Thank you, Florida, I think.
I mean, I really don't even know what to say to this. I mean,
I know what to say to this. I know what to say to this. Cue the music.
Thank you.
No, not the end music. This is jacking it in San Diego.
No, please end this.
No, this is great.
And of course, then everybody's got jokes, right?
Everybody got jokes.
So this guy comments and says, I guess he was looking for a stable relationship.
Oh. All right, I will turn down the South Park music now.
And somebody else says, nay means nay. And
Very
he was
good.
just horsing around.
There's his horsing around. All right,
Oh, boy.
very good. Was that it for the news?
You know, that's all I got. I'm going to end on that high note.
And on that very high note, indeed. Conveniently enough, Don appropriately placed, he did this because he got high.
Right, because, I mean,
Because
anybody
he got
who
high.
smoked marijuana
Because he
knows
got
you
high.
just do crazy things, right?
Right, because marijuana, that's just, you know.
Yeah, I don't know how that's actually part of the story. Because it's not as though that explains his actions. Oh, well, he was smoking weed. He got high. So, of course.
Yeah. I would expect that out of acid users. But anyways, cue the music. What? You trip on acid, you do stupid.
No.
No? How would you know?
So, because that just doesn't happen.
All right, well.
Time to end the show.
Yeah, oh, no, it's ending, believe me. We ended it right there. I will say this. This has been the 17th episode of Get Ready America. And thank you, Don, for your contributions as always. And we are now... it's coming, honey. It is coming. The 20th episode of... Hey, not the horse is coming, although he might have. But the 20th episode is on its way. And ladies and gentlemen, next week... exclusively here on Get Ready America, I am going to announce the first inductee into the Get Ready America Hall of Fame, in which the ceremony will commence on the 20th episode. We will honor the first Hall of Fame inductee into the Get Ready America Hall of Fame.
Are we just going to start retiring
episode,
everybody's numbers?
No, we're not going to retire everybody's numbers like the New York Yankees. But I'm thinking maybe every 20th episode, we will have a Hall of Fame ceremony.
I was not consulted on this.
No,
so
maybe we'll do it every year.
You'll
So
have to stay tuned and see if that happens.
it's going to happen. At least the first, maybe it's a yearly thing. In honor of the first year of Gear, we have plenty of memories here. We can have a Hall of Famer for the first year. So the announcement on who the Hall of Fame inductee is comes next week on Get Ready America. Until then, this is a copyrighted podcast of the Gear Radio Networks, and any rebroadcast or reproduction without the express written permission of the Gear Radio Networks is strictly prohibited. The executive producer happens to be this fine lady to my left, Mrs. Dawn Cimino. Dawn, thank you again. I'm welcome. All right, for Dawn, this is John saying so long, everybody.
Good night now.
Where the sun always shines, he's gonna jack it. Been spreading the word, and now I need to ease my mind. Jacking it home, been planting them apple seeds, and while the apples grow, I'm gonna go out it in San Diego. Jacking it, jack, spanking it, jacking it, spanking it, smack. I don't need no shirt, no, gonna take them pants right off. He's about to jack it. On such a bright day, who needs underwear or socks? Jacket, been around God's country, and there's one thing I know. There's no better place for jacking it than San Diego. Jack it, jack, spanking it, smacking it, smack. Jacking it, jack, jacking it, spanking it, spanking it, smack. Come to San Diego, there's so much to see. From the sparkling waters of Mission Bay to the warm tortillas of Old Town. And after a day of sightseeing, why not try spanking it in one of our charming city streets? San Diego, come, take a load off. Jacking it, jack. Spanking it, smacking it, smack. Whacking it, whack. Spanking it, jerking it, smacking it, smack. The cars are passing me by, they honk and say hello. Hey, that guy's jacking. From his window, there's a guy shooting video of him jacking. And if the good Lord Jesus comes knocking on my door, just tell him that I'm jacking it in San Diego. Jacking it, jack. Spanking it, smacking it, smack. He's about to jack it. Jacking it, whacking it, spanking it, whacking me, jack, whacking it, spanking, whacking, stacking it. He's about to jack it. San Diego, jack, whacking it, whacking San Diego, whacking it, keep on San Diego, jacking it, San Diego, whacking it, jacking it, San Diego.
The preceding presentation has been brought to you by the Gear Network.